Hi, everyone. My name's Kerry Morgan. I am the host of this Holistic Empire Summit. And this summit is all about unleashing your purpose, right? Finding that prosperity and creating profit. So many women get stuck and they just feel like they're not worth it. So I got together all these amazing women all over the world to share with you exactly how to step into your power, own your self-worth, and know deep down inside that no matter what, you can do it. So today we have Melissa. She is amazing. I met her in one of these groups online, and I really wanted to just expand on women's knowledge that I felt had a gift, right? That were really into their spiritual side and also into alignment. So she deals with energy and wealth alignment, which is perfect, right? I couldn't get any more luckier than this. So Melissa, I am going to let her dive a little bit deeper into exactly what she does and how she's going to change your perspective on how you can show up daily in your life.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Kerry. This is amazing. I just got back from a really great weekend at Celebrate Your Life and was able to speak on stage and just feel the energy that we are creating as a wholeness here within the world. And being here today is just kind of a great end of that. I work with men and women all over the world. And I love the topic that you have here about our self-worth and being worthy of creating a life that we love, because going down deep into our lives, we have these beliefs, these limiting beliefs and programming that is actually keeping us from creating the most wonderful lives we could ever imagine. So this has been so much fun just planning this out and being here with you today.
Oh, yes. I'm so super excited to have you.
Yeah.
So what exactly do you describe yourself as? Like if somebody was in your presence, what would be the one word that you would say they would feel that energy after you left?
It would be insightful, because usually I can tell when people are around me, I can tell when they have all these layers of beliefs and programming that are holding their true self down. We all have all these beliefs that we inherit from our ancestors. We're not born in this life just free and clear. We are born with so much information that we're not even aware of. And so when I meet somebody in person, I am able to dial in and just really tune into possibly, sometimes I'll pick up, it's 3 generations back, father's side memory of poverty and struggle. And that could be the very thing that's holding them back from being the creative, manifesting person that they are today. And so I'll just, say it out loud. And sometimes just by IDing that in the moment now, it helps them move forward. So they notice that over the next few days, that they're actually creating more, that they're actually finding themselves more balanced. It's a beautiful thing. So, but that's one of my main gifts, is just being able to see inside where it is that's keeping them stuck and helping them move past that.
Yeah, I think that's a huge gift, right? Let's find a reality. Because so many people are in that level of thinking it's them, but it could be someone
Yeah.
else in their generational gap or, in their history. And we just think, oh, no, what does that mean? I'm not really sure how that can happen. But it is true. You do pick up energies and also, issues from your ancestors, which is almost like people don't want to believe that, but it is. So let's go in a little bit deeper on exactly like what you do. Like you heal, do you heal people? Is it a subconscious block? Like how exactly do you describe what you do?
What I teach my clients and in my tribe is basically tools that they can use on themselves. So I like to empower women. My groups are mainly women, but I like to empower people to be able to work on themselves. I don't want them to be tied to anybody else, because our self-empowerment is how we're going to really be able to grow. And most of these things that we are dealing with are subconscious programming. They're subconscious, and there is so much science behind it now. It's the coolest thing ever. I was telling my husband like 8 or 9 years ago, that we are actually pioneering this, that we're going to start seeing this more and more often. And it's happening. We're having MDs doing this work. We're having psychologists. We're having so many people digging deeper into this. But the thing about it is, when we're looking at the stuff that we inherit, it's held in our cells. It's held in our DNA. It's there. I mean, maybe some people still don't believe it, but the science is catching up with it really quick. So I'm really excited about that. And what I do is, by using different forms of testing, like muscle testing, I use intuition, I can ID, and I teach my people, my clients, and my tribe how to actually ID their programming and those beliefs that are holding them back. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. Just because there is a reality out there that people think, there's something wrong with them. It could not have anything to do with who you are as a person, but something in your DNA,
Right.
which is why there's like, well, why is this happening to me? Like, what is going on? And that they don't know how to be able to heal themselves, right? It's a process of being aware of what's going on and knowing when you sense that emotional conflict and stopping that, and then, connecting back with your mind, body, and spirit and saying, okay, this is what I need to do to get past that, right? Instead of letting it tear you down all the time. And we are going to really just to figure out for women, what this takes. So how did you shift into your business you are now, and how did your past align you for your current business? So like, what made you want to be an emotional healer? I mean, an energy and wealth.
Emotional healer, that's good too.
I mean, but you do a little bit of that with your code. I mean, that was one of your courses, but so can you explain that for us, please?
Yeah. So, I started off, I believe that everything in our life happens for us, right? Not to us.
Yes.
And that every situation, every struggle that we go through is created for us. And it's here to guide us back to who we really are. And I think over time, over centuries, and because I believe we carry all that with us, that it's bringing us back to that full circle almost, to us, to ourselves. And once we uncover those layers that are held over us right now, we're able to allow our true selves to shine. And we all are there underneath everything, right? Underneath all those layers. But about 8 years ago, I went through some major financial, I think it was 2008, major financial, the bubble and everything.
Yeah.
And it caused major stress, which then caused me to have an autoimmune issue flip on. And I've tried everything from medical doctors to Eastern, Western medicine, you name it. I went through it, raw diets, everything. And while everything helped a little bit, I still wasn't getting to where I needed to be. And when I opened up to energy, and how by holding on to these things, it's like holding on to a bunch of garbage in your cells. This energy is held in your cells and it's holding you down. Once I was able to open that up and start working with, I think my first love was EFT. So I was tapping my brains out all the time. And I got so much help with that. So I did a bunch of training in that. It was amazing work. But I still wasn't getting, because EFT wants you to dial into what you remember, into the emotions that you can remember. But there's a lot we don't, especially subconscious and especially inherited, right?
Yeah.
But what about the absorbed? What about what we absorbed from our family, from authoritative figures in our lives? I mean, we absorb other people's things and we don't think we do, but you do.
Yeah, their energy. Yeah, you definitely do. Yes.
Right. So once I figured out that I could find those things that were in my DNA that I inherited, what I absorbed, what I created through my own experiences in this lifetime, the world just started opening up for me, because with the tools that I used and that I still use, it not only caught that one specific memory, but it went back, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of years maybe, and it goes forward to my children, because we're all connected energetically. And of course, the children are even more, because that's the energetic umbilical cord.
Yeah.
But once I started seeing that transformation, I was addicted. I had to share this with as many people as I possibly could.
Yeah. That is so amazing, especially that when we walk the walk or it happens to us, and
Mhm.
then we're feeling, well, how can I help other people, right? Because that's what it comes down to. Um, in reality, it's that process of helping other people and knowing that, you've made it through this. Is this happening to other people? Then when you share your story, so
Yeah.
many people come. And I had another lady just I interviewed the other night. She had the same thing, and we don't realize that by us leaving those problems or those situations and not actually letting go of them, they
Mhm.
do affect our body. And I said that
Mhm.
today. I said, if don't do these certain things and you don't listen to your body, it will shut down on you. I mean,
Right.
it will just say, you know what? Well, you didn't listen. And I've been telling you
Right.
over and over. I like to tell people, just like you take out the trash every week, why haven't you taken out the mental trash? Why haven't you let go of the emotional energy that you're holding on to, right? I mean, that needs
Mhm.
to be gone every single week. Imagine never taking out your trash ever,
Oh my gosh, it would be
right?
horrible.
Right? And that's
Oh,
what happens to our body. We absorb and absorb and absorb. So
yeah.
this is exactly, so what key ingredients does your clients get, like when they meet you and then they come back and they said, oh my goodness, that helped me so much, and it was like the quickest result? So when do you see that shift in them? What little type of secret do you give them and they kind of say, oh my gosh, that was it, like it was so simple? But yeah, if you can give an example of something, like maybe if I was your client or I was wanted to be your new client and you gave me a little test to go home and do.
Don't know if I'd call it a test, but what I have people do is follow the clues from their emotions. So if they're having an emotion today, it's anger. I have them look at it. It might not feel like it's related to an earlier memory, but I have them close their eyes and feel into the earliest time they felt a similar anger. And if they can find that early memory, that helps clear things faster. So we're always working on the underlying root cause, the emotional underlying root cause, which is created from a belief. It's created from, you feel whatever you're experiencing, right? So I have them check back in time, like, oh my gosh, I remember an age 3 memory when I felt this way. And I help them along too. If they can't, a lot of people, what happens is you cover up these memories, kind of like protecting yourself. You're covering them up because you don't want to feel it anymore. You don't want to deal with it. So I help. They find the earliest that they can, but often when they find that earliest that they can, then something else will show up like a day later. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I remember this other memory and now this other memory. But once it takes those breadcrumbs, take them back to the earliest memory they can find, it helps clear that early memory as well as every other energetic aligned memory, feeling and memory that's resonating in that field all the way up to their current timeline. And often it goes back and it reaches to those ancestral timelines as well. I like to do muscle testing and other energy techniques to find the earlier ancestral, because then again it comes forward throughout our timeline. So the further back you can go, the better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very powerful. It's very
Yeah.
powerful just because, I tell people they're either covering up something with a
Yes.
blanket or we
Mhm.
close off the like closet doors, right, in
Yes.
our mind. And then like
Yes.
maybe a song pulls you forward and makes you
Mhm.
freeze, right? It's
Yes.
an
Yes. It triggers
emotional,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
it triggers it. So, but it's always in there, right? Until you can really do work. And I mean, I had to just go through a whole yoga training just to mentally heal myself and heal my emotions. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I could totally understand, but it was something that I had to listen to and from deep inside say, well, what would make me feel the most powerful right now in a moment and help me with myself? So, that being said, how do you master your 24 hours as a female entrepreneur, and what key alignments keep you going forward in your biz? Because being a solo entrepreneur or just having a business and being a female, we love to give our energy away, right?
Oh, oh yeah.
So how it's most your brand is your energy when you
Right.
place those together. So yeah, how is give us some insight on that, please.
Well, I really wake up each morning before I even get out of bed. I have to set my intention for what I want to feel and how I want that day to be. So Usually it's feeling aligned in love, and I want to make sure that I'm only allowing love out and allowing love in. I know that sounds kind of like, oh, cheesy a little bit to some people, like really, but it's really what I try to do, because if you're allowing that love in and out, I mean, only love in and only love out, you're not letting your garbage go to anybody else, and you're not letting their garbage in that way, but you're still
Yeah.
open to the good, right? I always do a green smoothie every day. Every single day, I try to do as much raw as I can, drinking lots of water. I ground myself outside when possible. Like just this morning before I got on with you, I went outside, bare feet on the ground, grounded myself. I mean, I don't know if you've looked into that, but there's a lot of new science with that, with collecting electrons from the earth. So as a woo person, you think of, oh, the spiritual grounding, but there's so much more to that than just spiritual. So if we're connected to the computer as entrepreneurs a ton,
Yes.
it helps get rid of that electromagnetic field in your body by going outside and physically grounding. If you can't get outside, they make pads that you can plug into your grounding outlet inside. Awesome.
Yeah,
So
great. I've
yes,
seen
so,
those. Yeah.
yes, I love it. So also my number one thing I make sure I do every day is at least get 2 or 3 sessions on myself, only for myself, for using the healing code usually, or something else that will align me. And just like taking out your garbage daily, we collect garbage daily. So even though I'm doing generational work and there's so many layers, I probably will never hit all of them in my lifetime. Every time I do a healing code, I'm going and getting rid of extra layers, but I'm also getting rid of what I've collected in the last 24 hours. So it's helping me basically stay on task and in being what I like to call Einstein time, when you get more done in a period of time than when you're not in alignment. You know what I'm talking about? You
Oh,
waste time
yeah.
in the wheel.
When you're in flow.
Yes. I mean, you can get in 3 hours what you could get done in a week when you're on Einstein time. So that's really important. And plus, when you're aligned and you are allowing yourself to relax, you're also being more creative. You're allowing those creative juices to flow. I love brainstorming with people, coming up with ideas for them to build their business, right? So you can't get that if you're not aligned with your energy. And sometimes they're just talking to me about their fears on stepping out, fears of being seen, for example. And if they're not aligned, we first work on getting rid of those fears of being seen or visibility. All of a sudden, all these ideas flow within themselves. They're like, I have so many new ideas, I cannot, they're just busting. So it's so important that every day you spend time on yourself, and that you know that you're worthy and valuable of doing that. And if you're not spending time on yourself, I exercise every day too, by the way, because I have to do that. It helps reduce stress, keeps my blood physically going and moving. It's really important to me. But if you don't feel that if you're not spending the time on yourself, then there's probably an underlying block of not feeling worthy, not feeling like you're valuable enough, or maybe there's a belief that everybody else is more important. I mean, those are all things to look at. And by taking care of yourself, you're going to actually be able to help way more people. So
Yeah, that is so powerful. I love that. It's so true that you really do have to put that conscious effort in and consistent effort in daily. I love what you say. And let's go a little deeper into your healing code. So you do that on yourself, and that's your expertise. So that everyone needs to be able to learn how to heal, whether that's your mindset, whether that's your perspective of or just opinions that you always listen to, but you need to be able to heal. And I love how you said that it's an everyday thing, because people get to a good spot and then they quit, right?
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
that
the
is
hardest thing.
exhausting, right?
Yeah.
That's exhausting, because then they're always paying for someone to help them instead of just continually take action. So can you explain like a little bit of your healing code for everyone?
Yes. So the healing code is a self-healing modality. And what it is it's going back and working on the generational things that I talked about, the issues, the beliefs, the traumas that you've had previously that's held in your DNA and cells, but it's also working on in your timeline as well. So what it is we're opening up healing centers, and we're using the healing centers around the head. And I can just briefly describe to you what it is so your audience can see. But we're using our fingertips like this, just almost touching.
Okay.
Okay. And the 4 healing centers are what we call the bridge, right between the eyebrows. And you're going to hold your fingertips there 2 to 3 inches from that point. Just,
Yeah.
okay. The second one is the Adam's apple. So we're holding it there. The third point is the jaw, right where the jaw hinges. And the fourth is the temple. This is called the Universal Healing Code, and you want to keep it in this order: bridge, Adam's apple, jaw, temple. And you keep that cycle through for about 6 minutes. You're holding each position for around 30 seconds each. None of this has to be perfect. Just if your hands stray, it's not a big deal.
Right.
But we even have people that they can't use their hands. And so we have them visualize holding their hands. Or if I'm on an airplane and I don't want people to see me holding my hands, I may visualize, for stress. So, but that's the universal code, and it's used for a broad spectrum of things, right? You can use it on any issue. So bridge, Adams, jaw, temple. When I build a custom code for my groups or my one-to-one clients, I end up building it energetically for their field. And that could be something like left hand Adam's apple, right hand bridge.
Oh, okay.
So I'm tuning into their field and I'm helping them with whatever they're going through. So that's why they have sessions with me. And that's why I have the group sessions, is because I'm tuning into that field. So it's more zeroed in on the issue, their issues, right? Mm-hmm. With the universal code, we're working with a broad range, but it's still very powerful. And so that's why I wanted to teach your group how to do this and teach the summit how to do this, because you can use it on anything. I would try it on anything, but you're always going for the underlying root cause. So always ID how you feel, your emotion, and then if you can find that early memory, go back and find an early memory and say, I'd ask for this to be healed, okay? What I do is I start off with an intention.
Okay.
And I do that with a prayer intention. So some people don't like the word prayer, but I started off with, it's not a magical thing. It's not like this is a magic prayer or a magic intention. It's just basically you're stating what you want, like with the law of attraction.
Right. It's being clear, right? I mean, when it comes down to it, it's
Focus.
You being clear, right? People are like, I don't want to do. I'm like, well, you're not focusing then. If you're randomly thinking, but go ahead. Yeah.
Right. So we state the prayer intention. I like to state it out loud because I think the power of word is very powerful. And I was thinking about that today. What we should focus on is maybe fear. If anybody in the audience has a fear, any fear that they have right now, to focus on that fear that they have for themselves personally. And I could walk you through how I would do a healing code on that. If that's what you want to do today.
Sure.
Okay.
You can definitely do that with me.
It could be fear of change. It could be fear of being seen. It could be fear of anything. Okay.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll state a prayer intention and I'll talk you through it and then just follow along. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I ask that all known and unknown negative images, unhealthy beliefs, destructive cellular memories, and all resulting physical issues related to this fear, and then state your fear and find the early memory that you have and how this relates to anything in my life, whether it's my business, my relationships, my happiness, my health. I ask that these things related to fear be found, open, and healed by filling me with love, light, life, and truth. I also ask that the effects of this healing be increased to the highest level for my greatest good at this time, and that it be gentle, easy, quick, and pleasant. And then we'll start with the first universal code, right between the eyebrows, holding your fingers 2 to 3 inches, and you're just going to hold that spot. We're going to hold it for around 30 seconds. As you're holding this position, I'd like you to pick a memory where you felt either love, where you felt empowered. Maybe it's something in the future that you want to feel. Like if you have fear of being on a stage, maybe you see yourself on the stage, empowered, just everything is smooth. You are feeling great. And just breathing and relaxing. And then second position is both hands atoms, same thing. Just holding there and breathing. Sometimes I'll switch from memory to memory. Maybe my husband and I walking on the beach in Mexico, that feeling of love, a snapshot of a time when you just felt incredible love. I remember when one of my sons was born and I looked into his eyes and just that connection and that intense love. So I'll roll through memories like that and relaxing and feeling those emotions from those memories. Both hands jaw, both jaw. You can even have an affirmation that you love. I just don't repeat it like a mantra. You just want to say it once inside your head and then feel the emotion that that affirmation brings to you. One of them I used to use was every day in every way I get better and better and better. And how would that feel as I know my body's healing, as I know my life's aligning in the way that I want? And then both hands, temple, both temple. Allowing your cells to open up and release those memories, those beliefs. Anything that wants to unmask and show itself today from your line, your ancestry line, to show itself and know it's safe to clear. And breathing. And then we start over with between the eyebrows, the bridge again. You might notice some memories coming up. Sometimes they're not comfortable, and you just allow them to leave because they're surfacing to leave because they know it's safe to be healed. If you're sitting in front of a desk, you can rest your elbows on the desk itself. If you're lying down, you can prop pillows underneath your elbows. And just breathe nice and easy. And both hands atoms. If you're having a hard time finding a good memory, if you're struggling so much today, you can just focus on your breath, breathing in and out. If even that's difficult and the memories, some bad things that have happened are coming up, you can allow yourself to look at that memory, the thing that's bothering you the most, and give it just a little bit of attention. Don't get drawn into the drama of it, but just look at it and say, I notice you. I acknowledge that you're here. And usually as you do that, you'll find it's harder and harder to see it. It's kind of like a TV screen that gets staticky over time, and then go back to focusing on your breath, and then back to focusing on a really good feeling or memory. Both hands jaw, both jaw. Allowing light to fill every cell of your body. Releasing any negative feelings. Remembering to breathe. both hands temple, both temple. You really are more loved and valuable than anything in this world. There's nothing more valuable than you. And then cross your hands over your chest. Take a nice, easy, deep breath. You can stretch, open your eyes, and feel yourself.
That was wonderful. That was so delicious. I love that. I do.
And sometimes people go through the cycle. You know, I did one for 50 minutes. I really needed it. Once you start opening, and I know that you probably know this from your work, but once you relax, the beautiful thing about this work as well is it's not just going back generationally and deleting memories and beliefs that aren't serving you any longer, but it's allowing your cells to open up, to actually dump that garbage. So people actually can sometimes feel like they're detoxing, because they are. Once those cells can open up, the physical things in those cells they've been holding on to are able to open up. And the things that you're doing today, whether it's working out, whether it's getting the proper nutrition, you're able to absorb it. You're able to take in the nutrients. You're able to attract better relationships.
Yeah, because we're making space, right? We're making space for that new version.
This is lifting your vibration.
Yeah.
So you're attracting those clients, those people, those love interests, all those, because you're at the high. Every time you do this, you're raising your vibration. They say it actually, I mean, the studies show, the HRV machine studies with hospital grade machines show that this is actually lasts longer than actually having like acupuncture sometimes. So if you're doing it, it'll last 48 hours from just doing it once.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. That is so refreshing just to know that everyone's like, oh, I got to go, go, go. I got to say yes, yes, yes to everything. But your alpha state is when you're at your calmest, when you're connected, right? And that's that high vibration, that high frequency where you're energetically like showing up for yourself, right?
Yes.
Not spreading your energy all over the place because you're saying yes to too many things. And oh my gosh, that was so great. So let's go in, because I know everyone has these days when like shit hits the fan.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you create your balance and awareness and mindfulness? What holistic practice do you have when you find that happening? What's a way that you connect back and pull yourself back? Because we all like to float, go down a rabbit hole or so, you know, and like, how do you find that space to get back?
Well, I always look at everything as mirroring back to me what I need to learn. So even if it's you feel like something's happening to you or you're underneath all the stress, it's always coming back to show me what I need to work on so that I can move to that next level. You know, of course, I want my business to be extremely successful, and we have several that are. So, I mean, one of our businesses we're partners in, I think did over 28 million in sales last year. So we know how to balance this out, but it all comes back to making sure that you are aligned all the time. And I use what I just showed you, that healing code, often. I use EFT often. I mean, I was at that conference I mentioned in the beginning. I was over doing the karate chop point, you know, down low where nobody could see me, you know, right before I had to speak, because I knew that that would help me. I'll use, if I'm having a time when I'm like really freaking out and I'm like stressed, I will hit the thymus gland. Okay. That resets everything. The thymus gland is the master gland of the immune system. But on the energetic level, it's the heart chakra. It's connected to everything else in your body. So I will go in a circle, and it's that bump like 2 inches down below your throat. I will tap on that. But it's just a matter of bringing all that together and realizing that we are all connected. We are connected to God's source universe, and tapping into that higher power, having trust, faith, and knowing that everything is going to be the way it's supposed to be. Because it's happening. It's happening, so it's supposed to be. So having that trust, right?
Yeah.
So just coming into myself, realizing that, okay, I need to realign right now, and doing these little practices often is what helps me the most. It's my, and I don't like to look at it as a crutch, because I look at every tool that we get, everything that we have is here for a reason, and they're gifts. So I know that people beat themselves up when they feel like, oh, I have to have this because they feel less than because they have to do, maybe meditate. Meditation's great. I do that every day as well. It's not a crutch. It's something that aligns me and helps me stay centered.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I answered that question well.
No, you definitely did. Because what it does is it helps you step into your power. It gives you that confidence. And we forget that. That comes from us consistently showing up for ourselves, right?
Yes.
So whatever tools that you use, it's good for people. It's just like brushing your teeth. I like to explain it like this. You would probably never leave your house without brushing your teeth, hopefully. And then someone said, oh, I don't know about that, right? Someone was like, oh my God, really? And then I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I said, well, let's be real. Most people won't, because it's ingrained in us to do that, perform this, experience, this habit. So what if your parent woke you up or every day she said, yes, you can? It would be that same concept, right? Of you knowing deep down inside, why would you leave your house without setting up your boundaries and setting up your energy so it protects you and that you're not depleted by giving your energy away every single day? Why not? Right? So that's the same concept. I like to explain it to people so they can get a clear aspect of people that are not into or not knowing how to tap into that voice that they hear that's protecting them, and encourage them. Hey, let's try this. Or, hey, you need to drink a water. Hey, maybe you should eat that. And they keep blowing those actual, I call them like guidelines, or almost, hey, this is what you need, or your answers, right? More or less the answers that you have the questions to that you blow off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it would be wonderful if you can just break down maybe like a day of like what time you get up and some of the things that you do to perform as an entrepreneur, right? Because a lot of women have a hard expectation of what they have to do in their day to get their business going, or, have the energy to show up for their business, right? If they can't show up for themselves, it's going to be very hard for them to show up as an entrepreneur. So, that would be wonderful.
Okay. Well, and I have to say as an entrepreneur too, that we are the first ones, at least with the ones I talk to, they may appear that they're staying aligned in their social media, in their groups, whatever, but especially during launches or anything, they get off track and they don't take care of themselves as much as they should. I included.
Right. Yeah.
I went for 6 months. Yeah. I went for 6 months and was barely working out, which I've never done before. And I work out every day since I was 19. I mean, to not work out, that's like, really? Because it helps me. It helps, I don't know, it just helps me align that physical movement. And for 6 months, I didn't. And I couldn't believe the change. And I wasn't practicing on myself. I was still doing my work on others, but I wasn't practicing on myself. And it hit me with some reoccurring symptoms that I had gotten rid of for years. So immediately, they were very soft symptoms, so they were just a little gentle nudge. I wasn't getting the brick to the head this time, so I listened. I was like, okay, no bricks, please. I will listen to whispers. So I did. So what I have to do is make sure I get my sleep, get to bed at a decent time. I can't stay up till midnight or 1. I got to get to bed at 10:30 or 11.
Yeah.
Or earlier if I can. I get up at 6:30. I start off with, like I said earlier, I really sit there for a minute, just a minute, and just say, okay, what do I want this day to look like? How do I want this day to go? Especially during work days, right? And I really try to set the boundaries for how many hours I'm going to work and unplug from the computer, from my phone at certain times every day. So 6:30, I get up. I start my day off with the healing code because that centers me and aligns me. And with the law of attraction, just that those feelings during the 30-second hand positions, that is aligning my vibration up to what I want to create, right? It's feeling love, support, all that. And then I go have my green smoothie, and then I sit down with, I don't know if you do bulletproof coffees, but I've been doing those lately. So I sit down and do probably an hour and a half of social media. getting caught up, check my emails for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. And I then spend 3 or 4 hours of the next rest of that day with clients in my program, in my groups. And then I end off by checking my email again, making sure everything's okay, checking social media again for half an hour. I'm not saying I don't cheat and look at my phone and see if there's anything going on there.
Yeah.
Notifications. But a big deal to me is not content switching, which I learned in a program that you're in with me too.
Yes.
So that content switching, not doing that has been massively helpful to me. Staying focused on one thing at a time in chunks of time and staying aligned. I get done with my work day, do another code. During the day, if I'm getting not clear, I'll do the thymus tapping, or I'll do an EFT round just to kind of get clear. And then I go get my kids. Then that time is for my kids. 3:30, I'm done. I have to go get my kids, spend time with them, be present with them, hear what they're saying, not be on my phone. Yeah. No, I try to make sure that I'm actually hearing what they're saying, making eye contact, because that's really important to me. And just trying to make sure that I do not look at the computer or anything else after, like, say, 7. Like, I may hop on for a couple of minutes or whatever just to check up, make sure everything's okay. I do believe in getting support. I've got VAs that help me, and I believe that helps huge.
Yes.
So that's part of letting other people know that you're valuable enough to have other people help you, right?
Yeah. That's so good, especially the refreshing part of delegating.
Oh, water.
Yeah.
Lots of water.
Lots of water. Yes, I have mine too. I have my, I drink my lemon water during the day, and then
I love that. That's what I add to mine too.
Yeah, and then I have my candle. I put that on just for us. Yeah. But yeah, that's so refreshing. Like the delegating, and also, your kids, right? Setting that time, but being present, not thinking, well, what did I miss here? That presence, it's so huge. So I would love to know, what is your big vision? Like, what is your ultimate performance, your lifespan, your legacy for worldwide expansion for your business, or, what you want to leave in memory, after you are moving on in life?
Well, my biggest thing, and this is why I started this work, is the people around me, as I was getting more and more education and passionate about this, they weren't really interested in growth and helping themselves really see that we all are the same. We all are, at the core level, we are all the same. We are more, what is that commercial? We are more the same than we are different, right? So, I want to help people uncover their true self. That's what my passion is uncovering those layers that are those beliefs, those limiting beliefs, those blocks, those lies. Just because you have a belief doesn't make it true.
Yes.
And the emotions that we get ruled by, being angry at people, being angry at ourselves. Those are things that we don't need all the time. They're there to guide us temporarily, to show us what we need to work on. That's it. And I want people to see how beautiful they really are, so that they can shine their gifts to the world, because we all have gifts. And I get so excited because I see so much potential in so many people. I really do. And I'm like, how come they can't see it? I want them to see what I see. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing. I want my grandkids to be able to grow up seeing that they are the light of their own life, but they can also shine that light to help other people see their own light, because that's how we're going to light this whole planet up, right?
Yeah, right. Yes. We need more of us, right? Definitely.
We need more, yeah. And so for me, it's more of just globally spreading that. I end up working with a lot of entrepreneurs because I love the entrepreneur energy, and most of them are ending up getting health issues because they aren't taking care of themselves. Most of them are heart-centered. Mm-hmm. Most of them are into energy work, health, but they just aren't taking care of themselves. And there's something underneath that, something where they're not, like I said, feeling their value. I want them to see that. Because once you fill up your own tank first, you're able to give more of yourself to everyone else. You can't do it on an empty tank.
Yeah, that needs to be ingrained into our brain, like, consistently, right? Yeah. And that pulls us right into how do you define spiritual alignment? What does that look like in your eyes?
oneness with God, source, universe, oneness with each other. We're all connected. I mean, I look at it that when I'm upset with somebody else, I'm mad at myself. I'm upset with myself because it's basically they're mirroring back to me what I need to see in me, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's so
a hard
true.
thing to swallow
Oh,
sometimes.
yes, believe me.
Yeah, yeah. But once we can see that we're all connected, and that person that's bugging you, it's really you, that you're seeing part of you in them that probably
Yeah.
other people are seeing. So that is just basically aligning to the fact that we are all connected. We're all one. We're all part of the same thing. And we really need to look out after each other and not just be thinking of ourselves. We need to look at the other person and think about their me. How would I take care of me? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
really help each other. Give, give, give. And as you're giving, you're going to get back. You're just going to.
Yeah. So what would, and I know a lot of women may have issue with like technology, but I would love, we're down to the last like two
Okay.
questions and technology to grow. So how have you used technology to grow your business? So some people are just afraid, right, of that
Yeah, that fear
unknown
stops you. Yep.
atmosphere of what is all this stuff going on and how it's taking over, but you need
Mhm.
to get in and grow with it. So how is it explain maybe a quick example of what it's done for your business?
Well, like social media has been huge because that's how I built my tribe, being in groups, connecting with people from all over the world. That's Facebook is just one of the many, right? So you are in groups, you connect with other people, you see they're having a problem, you shout out, give them support, help them, offer any help in any way you can. You're creating that bond in those relationships. It's not unlike our real life. I mean, actually, I thought it was going to be different, and it's not.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
still connecting with these people. We don't know them, and you don't know people in real life half the time. You think you know them, but
Yeah.
you don't. But you get to
So
know
true.
them, yeah, by connecting. So being on there throughout the day, like in the morning, I said, sometime during the middle of the day, toward the end of my day, connecting, seeing who's there. That's huge. Being consistent. And when it is overwhelming, that's why I recommend getting support from a VA. If you can't, scheduling it out. Using a schedule like Hootsuite or Buffer or whatever to schedule your day out ahead of time, that helps. Um, and taking it one step at a time. Don't try to do all the social media platforms at once.
Yes,
Pick
so true.
one. Pick one. And then just read a little bit about it. And it's, once you step out there, it does feel scary because you feel bare. You feel like, oh, they're going to judge me.
Yes.
There's your clue. Your fear of being judged. Work on that. Use the resources you have to clear that fear of being judged. Find out where it started. And then you feel freer to go out there. Like doing videos. I wasn't able to do this 2 years ago. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like a pro.
Now well, now thanks. Well, I kind of have a harder time in the beginning still, but being on stage now, that's my next thing, is being on stage, speaking out loud, hitting a bigger audience because I want to share what I know, want to
Yeah,
help people.
I
But
love
you have to
that.
just start with one step at a time.
I
Yeah, one
definitely
step at
love
a time.
that.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, right? Yeah, just like you breathe in and out, breathe and take a
Yes.
step and then build from there. So we're down to the last, I call our golden nugget. Now,
Oh,
if
no.
what would you leave us with a golden nugget? A golden nugget is something that someone could take a quick little action step and just perform this or, daily and they will see a nice they will find their self-worth improves or maybe their confidence improves. So yeah, just something very simple. Maybe somebody said something to you that changed your business. Yeah.
Um, with the business end, you mean? With what the
it,
goal,
it
or
could
just
be
their life?
whatever you love to give. It could be something that someone shared with you that you thought changed your experience.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it could be
And
anything.
it goes right back to your emotions. They are your number one clue as to how your day is going to be, how it's been, what it is in the current moment, to look at how you're feeling right now. And it's that also brings you into the like power of now, power of being in the moment, right? So your emotion right now, looking at it and realizing, okay, where did this start? What do I feel about this? And if it has anything earlier that's coming from it, fear is powerful. If you're fearing fearful, doing something in your business, like you need to do a video, you can't, what is behind that? It's fear. So where did that start? I mean, maybe you were forced to sing in front of your kindergarten group. You know, you're
Yeah,
singing
huge,
in front
right?
of kindergarten friends, and you're like, people are making fun of you because you sound so off key, and they're laughing and snickering, and you're like, so you don't want to do that again, right? But once you go back there and realize that that early memory is magnified 100 times or more, it's really not that big of a deal. You bring it to the fore, you bring it to now, you see it, and just by seeing it sometimes and go, wow, how did I not see that before? It allows you to
Yeah.
blossom, step out. So every emotion has a different thing and a different memory attached to it and beliefs. So being in the moment, feeling what you need to feel as not a negative, you're feeling this fear for a reason. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just there to tell you something. It's a
Right.
clue.
Right, to learn from it. I love, love, love,
Yeah.
love, love that.
Yep.
Awesome. So this is amazing. I like my video. Come on, help me out here. So it just gets dark and it goes through this
Oh
thing.
no.
So what I was going to say is thank you so much for being here, Melissa. This was an eye opener, right? This is going to help you and so many other people out there, just to stay on point with what you need to do to show up. And in reality, it's about you doing the work and you showing
Yes.
up. So
Yes.
Melissa, can you please just share with the audience if you have any places that they can find you or any, links that they need to go to? And I'll also make sure they're posted below so that they can get your knowledge and also experience a shift in their life.
Okay. Well, you can visit my website, melissazoske.com, and that's MELISSAZOSKE.com. And I do have a ton of free information there. I've got a resource page. You can download that MP3 for that healing code we went through there. Just go on there and sign up under the resource page, and you'll get that delivered to your inbox, which is amazing. If you use it, you're going to see some changes. I also have a program called Owning Your Worth. And as you have the link there for that, it's a program for helping you get through those blocks that are keeping you from seeing your worth and owning it, because you are valuable. You're amazing, right? We're all amazing and valuable. We just need to get over these beliefs and limiting beliefs and blocks that are holding us back. So, and I love this work. So I hope that you guys will at least visit the website and try that MP3 out more often, because I know that you're going to see some great value. Thank you so much for having me. You are incredible.
Thank you for showing up. I love it. I love the fact that, this was not capable like years ago, right? Like going online and being able to interview people, but people like meeting people and just making this connection. I said on the last call where you used to have to beep or make a beeper and put change in and do all this stuff just to call somebody.
I
These days,
know.
everything's so magnificent where I could be like, hey, let's meet, let's do a whole online process where I have clients come on. I mean, it's amazing. So you could see the potential just by us sitting here holding this conversation and you having this privilege to come in and be a part of this process right now with us. Like, this is one of the most amazing experiences. So embrace it. Know
I
that you can
know.
show up. So I just want to say thanks, everyone, and we're going to be signing off. So have a wonderful day and make sure you come back. We have more and more and share. We have so many more women that are globally out there that are connecting with you and making sure that you step into your purpose, right? Gain your prosperity and also build the profit that you want for your family and for everyone else that is around you so they can get inspired by your shift in your life. So thanks, everyone. We're going to be signing off. So we're going to say bye.
Thank you.